video this morning. I would like for you to like, comment, and share this video this morning. And of course, before we get started, I would like to read a passage from the Bible. Hold on. Yes. You see, it says, James 1, verse 2 to 3. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the test of your faith produces perseverance. So, of course, there are challenges at times that to test your faith because it's a journey, it's a process, it's a method. But what you must have is a plan, it's an alternative plan. You see what I mean? Simply because when you are faithful, right? When you believe, you must have an action plan designed in order for you to increase your faith and your belief. Because sometimes there are situations that are designed to sort of cut off your faith, cut off your belief, cut off every single thing that you're trying to put in place so that you won't be able to what? Persevere. You won't be able to stay strong. You won't be able to stabilize yourself. So you have to develop an alternative plan as time goes, simply because you never know what that situation is going to present itself. Because there are many cases where the way you do things could be analyzed in order to cut off the faith that you have. So you have to always consider building new plans in order to increase your faith. Because God says people are not to be trusted simply because they are not 100% pure. But I am 100% pure, so you can always trust in that circumstance. So just remember, not everything that you do, you must what? Talk to others about. Not every single plan that you have, you must describe to others, because then if the devil, right? Because the devil is entitled, just like how he was able to test Job, he's entitled to be able to use others, right? They can then go back to the plan that you had and use that to attack you from all angles. So analyze the concept of play that you are in order to increase the power that you have. You see what I mean? So being faithful is something that requires you to plan. Being faithful, it requires you to be determined, to be consistent, right? So I want people to understand that, you see, the ability of righteousness is to have authority over wickedness. Do you see what I mean? So what happens is when you are righteous, when the light shines bright in your life, and when you conquer situations due to what? You fasting, you praying, you being consistent, you doing the right things, sins will fade. That means the things them that you used to do before, you won't consider meaningful to you. So therefore, you will start to do purity. You will start to analyze the type of character and behaviors that you portray. So all of those helps you to build more confidence in your faith, right? And to persevere in your walk of faith, walk of belief, walk of righteousness. And all these things will help you to gain more wisdom. So that is truly important in your journey of life. You see, I told you, whatever the result is on the outside, it's not the final results on the spiritual side. But always have an alternative plan. That does not mean you are filled with doubt, meaning that if the devil can use the Bible to test Jesus, then the devil can use the Bible to test you as well. And of course, the Bible is a fine example of different levels of expression to show inspiration and methods in order to conquer certain circumstances that appear to be abnormal to the physical side. You see what I mean? So do not let others give you the final results rather than let God give you the final results, simply because you have faith and confidence and you persevere in the word of God. You see what I mean? Your ability to shine is due to what? Your confidence, your what? Your state of figure, your state of action, your determination, your motion of play, the actions that you take, right? Because due to how special you are, certain environments are designed to entrap you in order for you not to succeed. So understand that you have to overstand that and continuously persevere in your actions, right? Because if your actions are the motion of doing good, then you must understand that there's a negative force to try to wipe that out. And you cannot allow that to take place simply because your journey is much greater than the darkness that others have combined to portray against you. So you have to stand firm. You have to be confident. You have to be very faithful and enduring the trials and tribulation. So that is why it shows you your faith, right, is tested during times of trials and tribulation. And so these people, right, the disciples, of course, the apostles, the pastors, all of them, they have gone through so many things that they had to face challenges, right? Sometimes, you see, Jesus felt like he was alone. He was by himself simply because even his disciples denied him. Everybody else ran away. Some betrayed him. Some did not listen, and so many things. So there'll come a time in your life where nobody wants to help you, or they portray like they're going to help you, but really they're it's designed to see if you will take the bait. Do you see what I mean? So just remember, keep your faith in God, because God's faith, right? God's confidence will see you through every single situation and circumstance that you go through, right? You cannot depend on people, because guess what? Depending on people will change the results that you may want, right? Might not be what you want. And so your faith will crumble if you depend on people. But if you depend on God, your faith will rise simply because He's the one that gave you life, not people. He's the one that sees you through every circumstance. He wakes you up. He gives you the breath that you have, the health that you have. You can eat all the food in the world, the best type of food. You could have the best type of shelter in the world. You could have all these things, materialistic things. However, if your life has a certain period of time, it is determined by God, not by people, not by your health, because there's so many actions that take place, right? There's so many things in society that are changing rapidly that people don't even see, right? It just keeps coming. One day this person is what's it called? Causing these problems in this society that changes the way we analyze things. I talked about yesterday about the 15-minute cities, right? It's coming to a city near you, not just Canada, but it's happening around the world, around Europe, around everywhere. So there's changes drastically in our society due to what? Climate change. So therefore, the things like, all of these things change our schooling because the professions that was once accessible to what we do might not be available or might not have any use. So therefore, the machinery, the technology machinery that's being created in order for certain sectors of jobs to take over certain sectors, it just because if they want less motion, right, then machines would be able to what? Um, undergo those professions. So then that will exclude humans because of the carbon footprints, right? Less movement means less um, jobs to be created, right? And the jobs will be just considered a handful of jobs that human beings can do, like technology, right? Being able to program um, games, apps, and all these things, right? So they're moving drastically, right, onto the metaverse, like online, in order to be able to go to work, in order to be able to earn your income, and all these things. So if you live in this day and time, then you must also go with the trenches because guess what? In the next 5 to 7 years, labor jobs is going to be extinct due to labor jobs will exist, but with only machinery because they have operating machines that drive trucks, that deliver goods, that imports and exports, that, basically on our sectors that works at retail and manufacturing and all kinds of jobs that we used to hire so much people, which would be millions upon millions to do those jobs. So that the in certain industries that people used to go to college or university for will be excluded because even nowadays they have robots that graduated law school in order to be a lawyer. So you could only imagine which person would have enough knowledge to retain in their mind to be able to compete with the robot because the robot would be able to store way more data than any human being. And to be able to express is nothing, it's just a button away. So, I mean, what's going to happen to a lot of the jobs that took years for people to be able to do that? Because even doctors, right, they have machines that are doing operations now. Now, all they need is the programming. And if they have the precise programming, it's just like a video game, right? You'll be able to then um, do surgery on your own and all of these things on your own, which will require less and less physical human beings at the present. Now, they went to the schools. How would they be able to then um, achieve the goals that they set out? So there's a lot of competition, and the competition is our talents that we have created for ourselves. You know what I mean? The technology is becoming more and more lively, which requires them less maintenance and easier to produce than even, even the time that we spend to cook a big meal. Because if they have printing, they have 3D printing machines, right? These are times where people need to understand that you have to create an alternative. Because guess what? It used to be fiction when things were talking about um, um, climate change and all of these things. But now Every plan that took place in the last 5 years, how you doing? Every plan that took place in the last 5 years seemed to be, what's it called? You know, seemed to be taking place now, right? Everything that we were talking about now is happening like very vastly. And so that is showing you that they're not backing down. Nobody's backing down. The technology is getting more aggressive. Like what? They have chat GPT, right? Where it's able to, you type in your description and stuff, and then it's able to give you a whole, what's it called? Information about what you want writing about and everything, right? Imagine you have university papers and you use chat GPT and you write whatever your topic is, and it's able to come and give you a full description within like what, less than 2 minutes. Think about it. You're writing a book, you write that. So now, as creative as we are as human beings, how would we be able to compete with that? We won't be able to. And this is what I'm saying, right? We, the humans, are smart enough to create these advancements, but we are not wise enough to keep it under control, because at the acceleration of ability of these machinery is on a very, very high level, much higher. So now, what do you do in times like this when your faith is challenged? What do you do when you have to be consistent in your position of what you are doing? Hmm? What do you do? These are the challenges that you are faced. Never mind all of these things that are happening, because some situations are designed to just try to cripple you because you are more advanced than what others are lagging in. You see what I'm saying? You never lose faith, and you keep drawing different alternative plans simply because, guess what? If you are doing things that are good, if you are doing things that are so helping, right? Then you are supposed to do what is good. You are not supposed to quit because it seems like nothing is changing, right? Because results do change. You look at the positives at every situation and you go with the positives. You see what I mean? Just remember, you matter if you take time to be influential, if you take time to be consistent, if you take time to strive to make changes. And I told you this technology that is happening, right, is designed to change aspects. And despite what is happening with the currency and everything, soon time there'll be a system where you won't own anything, right? They already tried this pilot program overseas already. And they have done it for years. As a matter of fact, they have implementation that is taking place. So these are times of challenges. These are times where your faith is what? Challenged drastically. Because certain jobs that people used to go to school for years, certain jobs that people made that a lifetime of their careers, right? That helped feed their families is going to be what? Extinct. Why? Because it won't be popular for humans to do that job anymore. So the demand where people spend money to do that is not going to, right? Think about it. Remember when first phones came out? It was very big, or first computer the size of a room. And now look, computer is the size of a grain. Computer is so small it can function inside of you. So it's edible. They have edible technology where they're able to determine what's going on. So now, of course, the opportunity, the human, what's it called, imagination is so vast that they're able to always elevate in a higher level of advancement. They're able to evolve. They're able to grow in their technology growth. If this is happening, then what's going to happen for us? What's going to happen when we we imagine we do things, but we can't physically move in that motion? You can't really compete with this technology that we made, right? So we create what is better than us, because guess what? We think now we can control it, but there has been stories where, robots start to think for themselves. They start to change the algorithms and do their own motion or have their own plans. And so if that's what's happening, right, without us understanding the full metrics, then what's going to happen in 10, 15 years when the robots know, okay, if we show that we know what's going on, and matter of fact we have an alternative plan, then they are going to put a stop to us. So we are going to play a method of cognito, right, to be able to carry out the plans. And by then it'll be too late, because guess what? They will calculate the speed, the rate, the motion, the action, the gestures of the motion of people in every single way. And if they're able to do that drastically, then their quantum speed of state of mind is far more advanced. So I urge you, keep your faith with God, because God is the only advancement. They even said, you see, Jesus said that the faith that he will have, the knowledge and wisdom that he will get, he will, at the last days of judgment, he will inherit it from what? God. God basically is going to give him the ultimate intelligence, the ultimate wisdom to be able to judge the people. So that is already telling you that the technology between human beings and people, the mergery of technology, is going to take place. That is already, it's a fine sign of understanding, because us humans at this rate, we're not as smart as we think. We're smart, but not as smart. But as soon as we get help from the advancement of technology, we're going to be able to do a lot of things that we considered what? Not possible. We're going to be able to do that. And if we are able to fuse with technology to be able to advance, then so many things that were impossible will be possible. Imagine being able to run at the speed of cars, or fly, or process knowledge that we couldn't process in 10 years in 10 seconds. Hmm? That is a possibility due to the level of advancement that is taking place in the world today. It is. So, what then would you do? You see what I mean? What then would you do? Because slowly and surely they are making the human being part of the technology advancement. You go in some grocery stores, right? Or stores, they have a face scanner, right? It scans your face. It tells you, okay, yo, your face that you are showing today, you're going to be what? Basically, now you can pay for anything you pick up. You don't have to go to the cashier or anything like that. Or they have self checkout, right? But that's like the low end. They have technology where now you go into a store, you pick whatever, boom. By the time you walk out, you already paid. Huh? And believe it or not, some of the um, crimes that are taking place, right? Some of the crimes that are taking place in society is just a test run. You see what I mean? It's a test run to see how advanced their technology can, because they could pick up certain things that nobody's there, but they're able to then figure out through technology this type of information that then will be able to apprehend the suspect. So therefore, they are vastly putting these into perspective, because that is giving them data to analyze, to be able to what? To assure that, yo, this happened. You see what I mean? Like, for example, there was that thing, technology on the 407. Nobody's there to thing. So if you don't pay and you drive off and you go home, in a couple of days, what's going to happen? You're going to receive either a knock at your door, or you're going to receive paper in the mail saying, yo, you didn't pay for the toll that you think. So now you have to pay for it. So all of these are just advancements that is showing you that, yo, we are figuring out the actual detailed metrics of the physical land with the technology that we have, so that we could be in a remote place, being able to just turn on this device that's able to then what? Analyze everything, just like a game, right? The system to be able to do that. So your faith has to increase. You have to go with the flow. You cannot be afford to leave behind, but do not let the times consume you, but control the times. Because what? Jesus had control over the legions, right? The legions begged him and said, please don't cast us far away. But what you must do then, please, is send us into these herd of animals. And so the animals drove off the cliff, went off the cliff into the ocean, and of course they passed away. So what that is showing you is, then Jesus was seen walking on the water. So he has control over it. What is evil, right? Your faith and your power, right, is able to then have power and ability over them, so that they are able to just do your command. But your command will never be bad. Your command will be always good. So that is a fine example of using bad for good. Do you see what I mean? So understand, challenging times require what? Stronger faith, stronger position, stronger plan, right? Alternative plan doesn't mean you're losing your faith. It's increasing your faith because you are becoming wise. Wisdom is a key component to your growth of life in this society today. So just remember, blessings upon blessings for everyone who, you know, stays believing, stays faithful, because challenges will come. The world is a challenge right now. Technology is a steady, sturdy competition for everyone. Because tell me, what can technology do now? Hmm? What can they truly do? The only thing that they don't have is a soul, but they have a concept of understanding of the ways of the people and how the people them think. So it's an ideal way of structure, right? Due to planning in numbers and metrics. So they can do a lot. They can stimulate a soul. Mhm. So think about it. What can they not do? It's very hard to tell. And most people are what? Not that advanced. They're not that advanced, right? So all I'm saying is, be intuitive, like be action driven, have a plan, be consistent, focus, be determined. mm? Because you see, when you do those things, it's going to show, right, that as times get harder, you become more stronger. Do not fade because you have come so far. Hmm? Stage 1 is much different than stage 10. Hmm? The actions, but you learn from stage 1 in order to complete stage 10. So be an even better student in learning about the times and the actions that you will take. Mhm. Because the actions that you take helps you to become much better in your circumstance, in your situation. Stay focused, stay motivated, and stay determined. Mhm. Like, comment, and share. Thank you, and God bless you for watching this video. Bye now. Have a great day, guys. And of course, thank the Lord for keeping you alive. Thank the Lord for, giving you, right, years and years upon your life. Bye now.